I was watching game 2 backstage, just eating a bunch of jerky sticks the whole time. And everybody on FlyQuest was getting turned into jerky except for Bwipo. I feel
in the enemy jungle, but maybe Bwipo sniffs something because he just pops the plant and they do
What
hit.
does Yordle smell like?
Oh man, no.
I'm gonna say not good.
No, I'm gonna
But
go,
you can
no.
threaten your realm warps to get over there for a trap, and Cloud9 are moving up towards the grubs. So they might actually do it. Loki is following.
Flash engage from Blabbers with a slam into the wall. It's first blood given to Sven as
First kill going over, quite nice, into the hands of Sven on the Senna, plus the grubs.
Okay, Inspired decides he wants to fight though, but he's going in with a bunch of backup from C9, ready to arrive. A nice Mega Gnar into the wall, sets it up for Sven to grab the second kill. A third kill goes the way of Cloud9 before FlyQuest ever makes their way onto the board. Bwipo prepares a decimating smash for a nice knock-up onto 2, but Vulcan's ready to return the favor as Bwipo drops and C9. You can see him and Busio, though, still looking for the opportunity, maybe, for a counterattack. Masu and Inspired are making their way down, but Sven and Vulcan are going to find them in the jungle. It's a 2v2. Vulcan leading the charge here, immediately pops the Unbreakable Will. Mom rolls her way into the fight, but it ain't gonna matter. Meanwhile, Loki's already got the kill onto Quad as Blabber's gonna try to stay alive. FlyQuest need to fire back a little bit better. Vulcan goes in for a beautiful double knockoff with the Dawning Shadow from Sven providing the extra damage. C9 are slaughtering FlyQuest as Masu tries to escape and Loki passes him the ball. Only Bwipo is left standing, but he's in a 1 versus 5. Slammed back into the wall. C9, it'll take him a little while, but they'll get the job done. That's a 12-minute ace for Cloud9.
That's 5 for 0 here, 9 to 0 in total kills, 4,000 gold lead, 12 minutes in. FlyQuest is falling apart in game 3.
It does. Here, though, the pressure continues. More turret plate money for them.
More turret plate money backed up by the fact, remember, they got 2 out of 3 of the grubs. Thanatos looking to fight Bwipo in the 1v1 down on the bottom side at the same time as Vulcan and Blabber have to try to disengage back up here on the top side of the map as Bwipo is about to die to Thanatos. Meanwhile, in that 1v1 I was talking about, he's already knocked into the zombie form as Busio with a quickness has to try to disengage. C9 going right back in. Mom hits nobody. Now another beautiful tackle into the wall. It's 2 dead in 2 different fights for a Cloud9 that is now 11 to 0.
The Gnar is going to be massive.
And you see Zen is ahead of the average Senna stacks here, and that isn't even including the support Sennas. So in a really good position. Bwipo went for the dead man.
Thanatos just making sure everybody's caught up to date on the latest information. C9 going in after the Herald, but a beautiful steal from Inspired as Blabber's now in the middle of 3. He tackles Inspired back into the wall and flashes away to safety. Inspired protecting himself with a Crescent Guard, but only for a moment. Thanatos has already found the first kill as Busio has to run before he becomes the second.
That's why Inspired wanted a full
Guys,
send.
we've got a bit of a problem here in the FlyQuest jungle as Inspired is caught again. The Cloud9 gank squad just getting it done. Masu's got no way out of there. Thanatos jumps over the wall. Masu was 3 feet away from the turret and that was 3 feet too far. Cloud9 are not giving FlyQuest even an inch of Summoner's Rift in this game as they continue their push, continue their pressure, continue a game that after 17 minutes has 14 kills and they all belong to Cloud9.
Yeah, and I mean, it kind of tells the story right there. When you're a full HP Scion under your tower and you're having to flash away from a dive, it is pretty frightening stuff. And Busio even having to use the ult just to try to run away. They do get an objective bounty on the top side there for a quad, but still the gold lead extending, and it's going to be Cloud9 first to the Dragon.
I mean, you're saying first to the Dragon. I'm guessing only ones to the Dragon, especially now with Busio not having that ultimate, not having that real singular engage tool for the side of FlyQuest. It feels like it's just a suicide mission to try to go in there and stop them from taking this objective. The Herald's going to be summoned up instead, as FlyQuest will at least try to get that tier 1 turret with it that you mentioned earlier, Kobe. Looks like they're going to succeed on that one, but the cost could be great. Inspired going in after Sven, does put some pressure onto the Senna. Mom also colliding for a bit of extra damage as C9 scramble to retreat, get back to a safe position. FlyQuest, honestly, good moves there, using the Herald, putting the pressure onto Sven. They get the ghost out of him, they do some good damage, and now Flyer heading over to the Drake pit.
Thanatos no TP, and he's still showing top, so they might actually have to give this Dragon here. So FlyQuest being able to take the tier 1 mid, being able to take the Dragon from this heavily losing position is honestly so good for them, and I don't feel like C9 should have allowed them to do it.
Well, objective bounties were put into the game for a reason, and this is the reason.
Okay.
Because it gives FlyQuest something to play for, something to get back in, and something to trade.
Wearing a FlyQuest jersey, as we've still got about 4 minutes until the next Drake spawns. Quad versus Thanatos up here on the top side. Thanatos is going to lose his Sterix. Quad trying to use the Realm Warp to guarantee the kill. Flash over the wall. Thanatos is going to get caught. Quad just got 1,000 gold shut down.
The Otacon, Cloud9, of course, when you're in on the Otacon, it will shred your magic resistance and your armor. FlyQuest are coming to fight it.
Okay, C9 only have the Otacon down to about 1/3 HP so far. Their DPS is not particularly quick. FlyQuest looking for an opportunity to still try to make something happen here. Blabber misses, trying to use the Poppy ult. Whippo dives into the middle of everybody, but where is the rest of the backup? Whippo still staying alive thanks to the Soul Furnace, but now finally gonna die as Sven goes on a rampage.
Look at
Otacon
Vulcan.
down to 2,000. Inspire jumps in. He steals it away again. C9 still trying to fight. FlyQuest have already lost one, but they stole away the objective. Inspired stuck here in the front with the Dawning Shadow blasting right through him. Inspired about to drop as Busio has already fallen. At least they're gonna trade one back. Masu's going forward for a little bit more damage on this Sven, but he can't quite find enough. Quad protecting his smolder as now they're gonna look out for Thanatos as well. Quad is the only man standing as Sven goes godlike and guns Masu down. Quad in a 1v4, but can he play those odds? Loki with the phase rush Orianna just kiting him out. The Rise cannot close the gap. Quad's gonna grab the first kill. He tries to fire back, but the overload won't connect. Loki is godlike.
They are really playing well in these next fights, because you give over one more fight, all of a sudden the game is even, and you're in. I think he probably has the death cap. He's basing now, so he's going to likely have that gold to be able to buy it. You have to sell the Doran's ring, should be able to have it. He has enough, and he is going to be in that credible, strong spot. I mean, there's 7 kills on Loki, but he's behind on gold, because one of the 2 kills for Quad was over 1,000 gold that he got from taking down Thanatos.
3 on its own.
Yeah, they're just going to start the Baron here. They see that Quad is down on the bottom side, and there's no vision on this right now for FlyQuest, but Inspired spotted.
Yep, exactly. They're going to use the blue trinket, and now FlyQuest are on the approach. C9 trying to stop him. Inspired taking a ton of damage here at the very start of the fight, but Whippo's coming in to try to save his life. Thanatos in danger here, gets a Meganar, but it doesn't do a whole lot, only finding Whippo. Masu's made his way into the fight, but Inspired is already dead. C9 taking the lead in this one as Whippo flashes over the wall trying to escape. Immediately, Busio tries to get a knock up there on the Blabber to make something happen, but Blabber's ready to just tackle right back in. Loki is legendary and Masu is down. Quad gets a kill back onto Vulcan as FlyQuest continues to scramble and scatter.
The positioning for C9 was so good there. As FlyQuest looked to the engage, they just kited back into this tight corridor where the carries, the shorter range carries here on the FlyQuest side couldn't really participate. And now with the center, they're just healing it back up there, back on the Baron.
Okay, C9, let's see if they can get this done. Whippo trying to get a decimating smash there on the board for the TP, but it won't matter. FlyQuest will not be here in time. Inspired is not alive to steal away another objective. It is Baron secured for the
hours that FlyQuest have left standing, so they can get this gold and push the game through.
You can definitely see the frustration on Masu's face in that replay as Whippo losing 2/3 of his HP, forced back now. C9 continuing their push. That first tier 2 turret is removed.
By them, ready to headbutt anyone back, ready to peel, ready to step in front.
Immediately, FlyQuest decide they want to try to go in, but a nice use of the ulti from Blabber turns it into an unfair fight. Whippo is already dropped, and C9 is disengaging before the zombie passive can do anything. Blabber with a stun back into the wall. Thanatos isn't even here. He's pushing over in mid lane. They wanted to use the Realm Warp from Quad to try to catch him, maybe make it a 1-for-1 on the delay, but they don't find him. Now, immediately trying to re-engage. Thanatos knocked up into the air, but he flashes back to the rest of his team as FlyQuest are still trying to find some kind of an angle here to fight. Inspired with a knock up onto Blabber as Quad tries to chase forward, but instead the Rise doesn't have the range, and Sven is going to take him out. Vulcan in some danger. Masu's got a lot of damage, but does he have enough? Sven tries to get away. Immediately, Busio goes back in for the grand entrance. He can't find him, but Masu's going to grab the kill. Masu trying to go to town. He gets a triple with the Smolder execution. And Busio and Inspired now got to deal with Loki and Thanatos.
That Dragon take, Cloud9, they're still chasing to the ends of the earth here, but the Orianna is just running them across the map.
Phase Rush only works if you can hit dudes.
He has nowhere to go.
Here comes the Whippo train, and Loki gets buried from an 1,100 gold shutdown.
Yeah, that is a huge shutdown. Thanatos is already on the Dragon, though, so we'll see. They can't get there in time. It's going to be a C9 Dragon.
That's why he's running them up to the other side of the map to try and buy time there. And Cloud9 looks like they'll be the ones getting to soul points.
Still, I gotta say, kind of costly there. Loki canceled his recall. He decided to cancel it. He wasn't sure if he wanted to stay around or not. His teammate finished the recall. He stayed, gives over 1,100 gold. And it is just this 4K now in the advantage here for C9, but Whippo maybe in a little bit of trouble. Could get chased down, has no ulti.
Yeah, Whippo without the ult to get away from this one. It will take him a while because he has the Soul Furnace. Inspired jumps in.
Masu's here.
Now they're going to look for Thanatos. Masu, keep your eyes on him. There's so much damage on this Smolder. Whippo and Inspired doing all right here in the 2v2 so far with Mom coming in. But the Sterix from Thanatos keeping him protected. Vulcan wants to try to go back into the fight immediately. As Booster found the angle on this Sven. As Masu is down, Blabber with a massive pick on the big cannon for FlyQuest. Whippo stuck on the front line, about to die. Inspired so low on HP, it's hard to fight back. Quad is behind enemy lines, and he'll be buried right there. A double kill for Loki as Blabber continues charging forward. Inspired and Busio both knocked up into the air by Vulcan, and Blabber keeps hunting. Another hit should be able to find the final bit of damage for the kill, and Sven will do just that. Inspired's the last to die, and C9 get the ace. FlyQuest have disrupted the Baron for now.
But look at Inspired's health. He's incredibly low. They're going to look for Thanatos.
Thanatos knocked up into the air. A beautiful little bit of juggling coming out from Busio to set it up for Masu. But now Whippo's going to get traded back. Both top laners down.
The fight's going to continue. FlyQuest are posturing here. They do have control over mid lane, but look at Blabber again positioning himself for a surprising angle of attack. FlyQuest just going to go mid, though, and allowing them to get that kill.
Yeah, if you can exhaust Orianna before her combo, if you can exhaust the Gnar when he tries to go in, so much potential.
They're going Baron.
There's only 10 seconds left on his flash, but they're going to trade objectives. The fight will not happen now. It will be after the soul has been claimed.
Okay, Baron over to FlyQuest. The Baron for Soul trade is always a classic because the Soul lasts forever, even if the Baron is more powerful in the moment. It just means you need to get a lot of value.
It doesn't make it a lot easier, though. Sven completes the Guardian Angel. This Senna that is going to get so much range here, already has so much range in scaling, and has been so far ahead. Soon we'll have Ghost up as well. Will be so mobile, so difficult to deal with.
Speaking of difficult to deal with, Thanatos is up in the top lane, completely unanswered,
Realm Warp
pushing. Realm Warp into the back, Inspired of Busio, looking to make something happen here as they try to dive towards Cloud9. Mom roars in, Sven and Loki both nearly killed, but everybody's still somehow staying alive. Thanatos has made his way into the fight now as Blabber tries to tackle into Masu, but he ain't gonna find the angle here for the kill just yet. Thanatos still chasing, Masu getting away off to the side, Inspired about to die, but still hanging on. The tier 2 turret is claimed, but now C9 of a 5 versus 4. Masu and Whippo still trying to get away from this one. Blabber tackles forward, but there's no wall to slam the Smolder into. Whippo's still stuck in the front line now, but that's not an easy to kill target. C9 got the firepower. They're looking to take him down as Busio can't get away either yet. The steadfast presence locks them up, and C9 beat him down.
FlyQuest went for the surprise play, but with the Ocean Soul, Cloud9 win out in the war of attrition. They will chase them down. Masu flaps away from Loki, but can he get away from Blabber?
He's got to try to avoid getting tackled into these walls. Blabber doesn't find a stun right there. Ocean Soul is so strong, man. Blabber's going to look for another chance here. Masu misses him with the snot bubble. Blabber still chasing. Masu trying to flap over the wall. Blabber gets the ace. C9's in the base, 35-10. It was such a closer fight than we thought it was gonna be. But C9 will emerge triumphant in this third game. Inspired will not stop the game-ending push. Busio just gonna be another kill for a 37-10 scoreline. C9 going to match point.
C9 very nearly getting a kill a minute in such a bloody game here. It looked like it was gonna be an absolute